In 1978, Philip Michael Thomas got a conspicuous start to his career, with one of his first leading roles in the TV movie Whack Attack, a Reefer Madness-type flick warning against the dangers of PCP. Sadly, it ended up unreleased until 1985, when Thomas's career hit a peak as Detective Ricardo Tubbs on the hit TV drama Miami Vice. When Thomas's on-screen partner Don Johnson started an infamous music career with his quote-unquote hit song Heartbeat, Thomas decided that he wanted one too, and made both a song and a music video called Just the Way I Planned It. But when MTV took a look at the video, they responded with a resounding
You serious?
So Thomas thought to himself, what to do? Oh, I know! How about I release that shitty PCP movie I did a couple years back, edit my music video into it like it's totally supposed to be part of the movie, shoot an introduction and some new footage for it, and give it a new name! How about a death drug? Yeah, that's a great plan! A foolproof plan, even! It was not a great plan. It was not a foolproof plan. It was a bad plan. Death Drug is the story of Jesse Thomas, a plumber and aspiring musician whose life cannot be any better. He's about to meet with a record company, he's married to Will's mom from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he just got accepted to the Conservatory of Music.
Look, baby, I just got accepted to the Conservatory of Music the next session.
Because there's apparently just one of those. So he celebrates at a club where a drug dealer approaches him about trading out his weed spliff for something way more potent. And that thing is called Sherm.
This is a Sherm, coated from end to end with the juice.
Looks just like a regular cigarette to me.
Let's see. Man, this is the stick with the kick, the Tower of Power. This comes from the heavens above.
Well, shit, you've sold me, sir. One stick of Sherm, please. Jesse takes one hit of the Sherm, and he suddenly has the ability to turn white people black. And now we know what happened to Michael Jackson. Anyway, the Sherm ends up making things even better for Jesse. His record producer says they're gonna do business. He ends up confronting his estranged father in a scene that truly shows how badly this movie got snubbed by the awards committees. And by that I mean the Razzies.
I never asked you for nothing. Just to accept me for what I am. But you never said nothing. Or cared nothing. You thought that Mama worried about me so much until she died, but you're wrong. You are wrong, and Mama understood. Mama understood that my music was good. I'm gonna make you proud of me. You're gonna be proud that I'm your son.
Got no son.
Daddy. Daddy. I love you, Daddy. I love you. I just want you to tell me that you love me.
And Jesse ends up releasing his first song on some strange new technology called a music clip.
Jesse's record company is trying something new. They made a filmed version of the title song to his new album. These music clips, as the record company calls them, will be shown on TV to help promote sales.
Because this is totally still the 70s, and not being forced to promote an actor's crappy music video from the 80s at all, and that's ridiculous that you would even ask that question. I mean, come on. And let me tell you folks, Jesse's music video for his song, Just the Way I Planned It, is perhaps the greatest thing in the history of things. I am totally serious. You've got Jesse, badly trying to do the robot, but instead looking like he's swatting flies from his jerry curl. You've got spandex-wearing girls looking like they came straight off the set of the Survivor video next door. You've got green screen effects and strobe lights that are so bad it makes Rock With You look like Thriller. You've got a silhouetted pregnant woman carrying Philip Michael Thomas's solar baby head. Let me repeat that. You've got a silhouetted pregnant woman carrying Philip Michael Thomas's solar baby head. I mean, come on, that's the greatest thing ever! But even with this success, Jesse is hungry for something stronger. So he meets up with the dealer at a tennis court. Because crack dealers can easily be found in an upper-class tennis court and hide their products inside their paddles, apparently. Oh, Eleanor, can you hand me a vial of the PCP for my associate here, Mr. Tyrone? He gives Jesse something by the name of whack.
I got some whack. Whack? Yeah, whack is heavy, brother. This is the whack, baby, the chief angel. This stuff put more dips in your hips, more cut in your strut, and more glide in your stride. This is a monster.
Well, jeez, that sounds even better. 2 bags of your finest whack, please, and a side order of fries. However, if Jesse had only seen the opening scene of this movie, he'd know that whack is just another name for angel dust, a drug which makes guys who look like Rob Halford contract rabies and want to attack outdoor roller discos, all while the world's worst news reporter narrates the proceedings.
Stay away from me. This guy's got a board. Call the police. Where's the police? Quick. There they are. Oh, he broke away. Please, somebody get him. He broke away. He's running away. Don't let him get him. Watch it. Oh, he got hit by the car. Oh, no!
Anyway, the whack makes Jesse increasingly paranoid of others around him, as he quits his plumber job that he apparently still has, even though he's a world-famous musician. Dude has a passion for plumbing, I guess. He also goes Chris Brown all over his wife, and walks out of his first recording session because he thinks that the band members are making faces at him. Okay, sure.
Don't you mess with me! Don't mess with me!
Watch out, guys, he's got jazz hands! Oh, and did I mention that his hairbrush turns into a crocodile and that his pipes turn into snakes? Gee, now that I talk about it, this sounds like the worst Mario game ever, doesn't it? So after talking with his token white friend in a session of homoerotic jogging straight out of Rocky 3, Jesse finds out his wife is pregnant, and tearfully promises her he'll go off to a rehab program. But even after completing rehab, which apparently only consists of bathing in a public school boiler, Jesse endures an hallucinatory fit in the middle of grocery shopping with his wife that makes this movie the so bad it's good masterpiece that it is. He sees rats crawling around in the oranges, which, to be fair, is a common occurrence in Los Angeles grocery stores. He finds rubber snakes crawling on top of some girl's hat. The customers of the grocery are suddenly wearing cheap Halloween masks and chasing him around and taunting him.
I can have all of you killed if you know it's good for you!
He swats at spiders crawling around on his arm, both real and rubber. And all of this happens while the scene slips in and out of slow motion and cuts back to previous scenes from the movie, supposedly flashbacks, I guess, also played in slow motion, because the producers had to pad this crap out to 70 minutes somehow. Finally, the scene concludes when Jesse decides to pick a fight with an oncoming truck. Guess who wins? We cut to a breaking news report of Jesse's death, where they interview an executive from Jesse's record label, which is so clearly shot in the basement of the producer's grandmother that I'm amazed they thought we wouldn't notice. I mean, you had to use plaid curtains as your background? You couldn't even afford a fucking wall?
Well, it's hard to believe that he's gone.
Yes, it is hard to believe he's gone, lady, because you never knew him. This footage was clearly shot 7 years after the fact to pad out this piece of shit. And what was the name of Jesse's album again?
There would have been trade winds.
Yes. Well, Trade winds.
Trade winds? He named his album after a fucking tea company? But what kind of drugs do you have to be under? Oh, right. So Jesse's funeral is broadcast live on TV, even though he had only released one album and one hit single. Yeah, remember when Jeff Buckley's funeral got simulcast over all 4 major networks and preempted the State of the Union? If those spandex girls from his video end up being his pallbearers, it would make this whole movie worth it. But sadly, that doesn't happen. Oh, and his wife ends up having the baby the same day that Jesse's funeral is held.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Several years later, we see that she and her son visit Jesse's grave. We find out that the kid is trained to be a musician like his dear old dad, and the kid sees the drug dealer from earlier luring in a new customer. Then we freeze on the kid throwing his ball up in the air right before it presumably cracks his skull open on the way down, and roll credits. The end. Oh! But first we gotta cut back to Mr. Michael Thomas in 1985, sending us out with another anti-drug message that, like the prologue to this movie, is clearly being made off the top of his head and shot on low-grade VHS despite being shot in a high-end hotel. But to summarize, the message of this film is stay off the drugs, whether it be crack or whack, because if you don't, you may just make an over-the-top and unintentionally hilarious piece of crap, badly remodeled with cheap 80s video effects and new footage shot on VHS, even though the rest of the movie is shot on film to serve as food for a TV star's enormous ego. In other words, you just may make death drug. I give this movie 5 out of 5 Whitneys. And remember, kids,
crack is whack.
The character I play is Jesse Thomas. He was a budding musician. Bypass the objection, sometimes break the rules. The mountaintop says that you got to use the master's tools.